to another Bello's Designs video. Today we're going to be making this, this egg, and you can frame it if you want to, or you can turn it into a card. This, believe it or not, is 5 by 7, and the only reason why it looks bigger is because of the frame, of course. So you can make this into a card, or you can frame it. I wanted you to see what it would look like framed, so that way if you did turn it into a card and send it to someone, let them know that it's a frameable. All right, so let's go on to all of the supplies. So the first thing I'm going to show, of course, is the Lavinia bunnies, and it's LAV 409 Woodland Hares. Then by Cardio Magic Mask, it's Easter eggs. And out of this set, and you can see I used it, it's the large egg that you want. Also by Lavinia is the Ornate Stencil. And I was looking for a number, but if you just look for under Lavinia stamps, you look for the Ornate Stencil, this is what you can find. No, it's not going to look like this. This is after I used it. I have yet to clean it. So this is a wonderful, wonderful, very large, as you can see, stencil. Now, those are the main components. And then after that, you can use anything for the gold if you want to. This time I chose to use Rub and Buff Antique Gold to give it a higher elevation to the gold on the picture. So this is actually not flat. You could feel it. For the edges of the 5 by 7, I used Scorched Timber by Tim Holtz, and this distress ink is Walnut Stain. For the shadows, I used Lost Shadow by Tim Holtz Distress Ink. For all of the wonderful beads you see on there, see that? Okay, I used Nuvo drops, and this is the pale gold, I believe. Yeah, pale gold. Okay, that's what this color is. You might want a different gold. They have different ones to choose from. You'll want VersaFine Clear Rainforest Green, and you'll want VersaFine Clear Shady Lane. You'll need a sponge applicator. You'll need also a detail brush like this so that you can go around the egg with shading. You'll need a Micron pen, fine point. And I always like to have a mechanical pencil on hand. You may or may not need this, so I just always include it in my supplies because I'm constantly using it when I least expect it. Okay, so ready? Let's get started. Okay, I've got the mask set up over my 5 by 7 Neenah cardstock, and I'm using the Rainforest VersaFine ink, and I've chosen to have it darker on the right side versus the left. Also at the base, you want it darker at the base, and I'm just going in with the detail brush in the same shape as the mask, as well as like little circles to blend out the ink. And I'm also going to be grabbing the Shady Lane here in just a second and adding that to create a different hue of green for a more shadow effect. And then also I want to give you a warning to be careful with the other cutouts of the egg. Unfortunately, I was not as careful, and I ended up getting ink where I didn't want it. So you might want to cover those parts up with some scratch paper. So as you can see, I went in with Shady Lane and concentrated on the bottom and towards the bottom edges. So it looks a lot different. And then you're going to top it with your Ornate mask, or stencil, excuse me. And this is when you're going to grab your gold and start putting the gold in. And here's the Rub and Buff gold. I'm using my finger. There are other methods. For example, you could use a sponge applicator, which now thinking back to it, I probably would have had better results if I had done that. Or you could use a spatula. Again, I probably would have had better results if I had done it that way. But play with it. Whenever I use this stuff, I always think of my finger first, because you can buff it and make it shine, and that's what I did. So if you don't have this rub and buff, and you can't get it, or you want to try something else, you could use gold ink that's on a pad. You could use gold acrylic paint. You could do it that way. You could use gold spray. Oh my goodness, there are lots of different things you could use. So now that I've mentioned those different ideas to you, let's speed this up some more and add some music. So anyway, I thought I was recording, but I wasn't. So I'm doing this a little bit to show you how to use the Nuvo drops. It's really easy. You have your pattern or design on your ink, and all you do is you're going to have it up and down. And when you have it up and down, you gently squeeze until a drop comes out. And then what you do is you let go of that squeeze. And if there's still some left over, you can go little swirls to break it off. Now, as you can see, it's really weird shaped. It's self-leveling. So when you make your dot, it might look really weird. Here, I'm going to break it off by going around in circles. Right now, it's not a dot, but this is already a dot. And this one is getting there. So it is self-leveling. And then you're going to want to let it dry overnight. So I would suggest doing this part of your egg last. Another thing that you can do if you want to is if you have a glass mat like this, or even the silicone, you can put your drops on that and let it dry on that, and then they'll pop off just like what you buy at the store. They pre-make those. Well, you can make your own and then pop it off and then glue each one if you want to. But if you do it directly to the paper, you will not have to glue them. Okay? All right, so let's go on to the next step. Okay, so we're back, and I wanted you to see the picture at this point and framed where I've done these flourishes, okay, with a pen. But before I finish up with that and show you how I did it, I'm going to take this out of the frame and we're going to add some bunnies. So let's get started. Okay, I've set it up in my stamping platform. Got my bunnies out and I'm placing them right where I want them on either side of the egg. Grabbing it with the lid of the platform. And there's the VersaFine Black Onyx ink. This stuff's great and it's waterproof, so you don't have to worry about it smudging. There is a drying time for it, but usually, you know, you just leave it alone for a few seconds, whatever, it'll be fine. And as you can see, even though I stamped it 3 times, it still didn't get quite everywhere that I needed it to on the bunny. So I'm going to use my Micron pen to darken in those areas where it was kind of dotted white. Once that's done, then we can move on to finishing up the filigree type wallpaper in the backdrop. And here's a close-up shot. Wanted to make sure you could see what I was doing. I have my Micron pen. Now, if you can write, especially cursive, then you can make these. What letters do you see? Do you see a letter S that I just made? There are O's, both filled in and not filled in. There are letter D, letter P, letter Q, all these different letters, you know, stretched out, of course, and kind of fancy. Letter C. They make this backdrop that I've been doing. And you fill in your areas with little squiggly lines, leaves, buds, dots, you know, filigrees. Anywhere there's white space, you're going to put in a leaf or a tendril or a branch of some sort. See how I did that? So 2 C's and then you put in your little bud and you just keep going. And I'm taking it down to the edge where the base is at, because I don't want to go past that, because I'm going to keep that grounding for stability. All right, now let's speed up the time and add some music. the inking is done, it's time to bring in Lost Shadow Distress ink so that we can bring in shadows and make it pop. Put it around the edge of the egg, make it look like it's 3D, and then put the ink also around the edges in the browns to finish this look. And now we've come to this, the frame and the final reveal. It is so exciting to see something you've just created behind glass. It transforms it instantly. Thank you so much for being here today, and I hope you enjoyed. Much love. Have a wonderful day. Bye.